So without further ado, let's start with the NBA with our NBA 10 clockless edition for the first time. No restraints talking about the NBA. Woof, because there's a lot of them, so thank goodness. But let's start with the Hornets at the Cavs in a big old win for this Hornets team. And I'm so upset, folks. This Cavs team, folks, this is not a good team overall. Jared Allen is probably the best player on this team, and his talents are kind of getting wasted a little bit. Colin Sexton finally showed up. He didn't really show up game one. Colin Sexton, 33 points, 4 rebounds. He shot 2 of 7 from 3. Not the greatest, but 62% on 21 shots. We will take that all day long. Unfortunately, no Darius Garland in this game, so Ricky Rubio takes over at the 1 and had a pretty good performance. 15 points, 10 assists. I mean, that's all you really want this man to do out here. 3 of 6 from the 3, 41% on 12 shots. I mean, we'll take that kind of all day. Unfortunately, the defensive effort wasn't really there for any of these starters. Ricky Rubio, a -9. How many did they lose by? They lost by 11 points. Yeah, you expect the minuses here on this team. So just unfortunate. Couldn't really lock up this Hornets team, and hopefully Darius Garland's back. We need Darius Garland, Colin Sexton, and Jared Allen really to go beast mode every single game if the Cavs want a chance to win this game. There's really nothing great off this bench. Kevin Love, he's all right. Shot 2 of 8. He had 11 rebounds. We respect that, but we don't expect the big old points by this man. And then, C.D. Osman, he shot 4 of 8 off the bench, 9 points. He was a +4, so I'll give him that, but we're not expecting any real big points or any real big consistent efficiency off this bench. So we know this Cavs team isn't the greatest, but they got Jared Allen, so I guess there's one reason to tune in. Colin Sexton, Darius Garland, always good as well, but they're a little spotty, and they're also young, getting their stuff together this year. So we'll see how they progress for the rest of the season, but 0-2 start for this Cavs team, not the greatest. All right, the Hornets, man-to-man, LaMelo Ball still getting it done. 17 points, 5 steals, 6 assists, 3 rebounds. Truly doing it all while shooting 66% from the field. That's exactly what we need LaMelo Ball to do. And we know he does more than this, a lot more than this, but we'll take this all day long. Terry Rozier playing the 2, 6 points, 2 assists, 2 rebounds. Mason Plumlee, 7 points with the 14 big old boards right there. Kind of got postered by Jared Allen in this game as well. I mean, this is like the worst part about this Hornets team is the big Mason Plumlee, and that's no disrespect to Mason Plumlee. He's a solid big, but he's not like a tier 1 big, like a Jared Allen or an AD or anything like that, obviously. Mason Plumlee's just trying to do what he needs to do to help out this team, and he's doing it so far these first 2 games, so we'll give the man credit. But, this Hornets team, if they do get into the playoffs, that's going to be kind of the spot where they really could potentially use some deep bench support a little bit, or maybe at the trade deadline go out and get that kind of star player to really round out this team, because this is going to be, if they do get into the playoffs and try to go deep in the playoffs, that's going to be where they're exposed, kind of at the bigs. So we'll see if Mason Plumlee can continue to kind of do what he's doing here, maybe even get a little bit better, try to get into that kind of superstar caliber big category. We doubt it happens, but we'll hope. Miles Bridges at the 4, 30, big ol' 0.7 rebounds. Gordon Hayward, 18 points on efficient as heck shooting, 4 of 7 from the 3. And I'm absolutely loving Kelly Oubre off the bench, folks. I hope this stays, because wasn't he in the starting lineup game 1? I'm almost positive he was. But having Kelly Oubre off the bench, that's exactly where he fits, folks. And he absolutely beasted it out. 27 minutes off the bench, we'll give him that all day. 25 points on efficient as heck shooting. Kelly Oubre, please stay on the bench and just kind of run this second team, because this is a solid, good second team as well, with Kelly Oubre Jr., PJ Washington, 8 points. He was a +11 on the floor. Cody Martin, Ish Smith. So this is a solid kind of second rotation right here. And I kind of want Kelly Oubre leading this charge while LaMelo is on the bench. So I'm kind of liking what the Hornets are doing so far early on in the season. And, LaMelo Ball already, going to be fantastic. I mean, he's already picking up exactly where he left off last season, if not better. So LaMelo Ball, no question marks on this man. Not that there was really any, but he's truly getting it done. So I'm really interested in this Hornets team, and we'll see how far they can kind of go this year and how good they can be facing against some of the good teams, the best teams in the league. Obviously, the Cavs aren't that, but they get the win and take care of business, getting it done. So Hornets win 123-112. Alrighty, next game up is the Knicks at the Magic, and another win for this Knicks team, and kind of pretty good out here. So here we go. Julius Randle still, once again, regular season. Julius Randle is a hit, folks. He's a big old hit in this league. 21 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists, a plus 24 on the floor. Absolutely fantastic. Now, this is where, the discussion is kind of coming in for this Knicks team. I want Derrick Rose at the starting one. Please get Kemba Walker on the bench, folks. I like Derrick Rose better than Kemba Walker here as a starting point guard. And I mean, when we watch, the small sample size of these two kind of working together this season, Derrick Rose is just way more efficient and is looking for the big play to make, not kind of make the big play himself by scoring the ball. So, I mean, they both played, equal minutes out here. Derrick Rose 23 minutes off the bench, Kemba Walker 21 minutes in the starting rotation. Just move Derrick Rose to that starting lineup. I mean, out of 23 minutes, they both took 8 shots. Derrick Rose 12 points, Kemba Walker 11 points, but the big difference is 7 assists by Derrick Rose, only 1 assist by Kemba Walker. Please get Derrick Rose in the starting lineup. Let Kemba Walker handle the second team. The second team is pretty good as well. I mean, you get Emmanuel Quickly, Alex Burks, and Obi Toppin. I mean, another manageable second squad out here. So let Kemba Walker deal with that. I think Derrick Rose just gives you the better leadership, the better playability. He's looking to make kind of the big pass, not always looking to score. We know Kemba Walker can get a little carried away, kind of trying to score the ball, chucking up some bad threes, usually not the most efficient while doing that as well. So I just really want to see Derrick Rose at the one, Kemba Walker coming off the bench. We'll see if they make that switch at any point this season, but I just think you would get a better start to your offense with Derrick Rose in the starting rotation. Evan Fournier, another solid game. He had a beast game, game one. Another kind of solid game right here. 18 points on 4 of 9 from the 3. We'll take that. A plus 16 on the floor. Mitchell Robinson getting it done at the 5, 6 points, 9 rebounds. And then RJ Barrett. Nothing great here, but he only took 8 shots, 7.7 rebounds. Hey, just doing exactly what he needs to do. Everybody just truly doing their part here. And just look at all this bench help. Absolutely great bench help. We talked about Derrick Rose's bench help. Fantastic. Emmanuel Quickly, 16 points, a plus 11 on the floor in only 19 minutes. Alec Burks off the bench, 12 points, 7 assists, fantastic. Plus 20 in 18 minutes on the floor. And then Obi Toppin, 13 points, 2 assists, 2 rebounds, 2 steals, and a plus 14 in only 23 minutes. This is exceptional work here by this Knicks team. And they are a little stacked out here, not in kind of A1, tier 1 superstar talent, but in solid tier 2. I mean, all these players are kind of tier 2 talent. I don't know if we're ready to put Julius Randle in kind of tier 1 with like a LeBron and Kevin Durant and James Harden and Jason Tatum and all those kind of players. He's definitely solid, don't get us wrong. Maybe have to see a good playoff performance first before we put him in tier 1, but these are all solid tier 2, and they're deep, and they're all scoring at a solid pace out here. So give credit to this Knicks team early. We'll see how long they can keep it up. They're 2-0, and we'll see how long that this team can last. All right, then we get the Magic, and there's just nothing good on this team, folks. Cole Anthony in his second year trying to prove that he belongs in kind of, the discussion of the rookies from last year of, LaMelo Ball and Anthony Edwards wants to kind of be in that, hey, talk about me like those guys, but obviously can't really do it all himself, and he's got no help support here on this team. I mean, this is the starting 5 for this Magic team. Jalen Suggs at the 1, Cole Anthony at the 2, Franz Wagner at the 3, Wendell Carter Jr. at the 4, and Mo Bamba at the 5. Okay. I mean, we see just nobody really doing anything great out here. Mo Bamba, 15 points, 10 rebounds. Wendell Carter, 10 points, 11 rebounds. Cole Anthony shot 21% on 14 shots. That's not going to get it done. Jalen Suggs, 23% on 17 shots. Not going to get it done out here. So I don't know how much in depth we're going to be talking about this Magic team this season, but they blew everything up at the end of last year before kind of the trade deadline, and they did not rebuild good in this offseason. They did not. Did they get anybody? Who'd they get? I mean, this is not anything great, folks. So truly unfortunate if you're a Magic fan. Truly unfortunate if you're a Magic fan. I think that's really all we can kind of say about this team. Man, oh man, just nothing good. And I apologize for the Magic fans listening to this. I don't mean to knock y'all or disrespect y'all or anything like that, but This is not, I mean, what, 12 wins? Are we looking at 12, 20 wins this season? I apologize, folks, but that's the Magic. Well, good win by this Knicks team. Alrighty, next game up is the Pacers at the Wizards, and once again, the Pacers lose by 1 point. Excruciating loss here, and losing by kind of the same fashion. Kind of late second shot right here, tied at 131. Davis Bertans, look at this man being clutch as heck. Step back 3-point, it drains. Bango, bango, puts him up 3, and then the Pacers just couldn't get anything else. And then they hit a free throw, puts the game out of reach. But very well done by Davis Bertans, man. Absolutely fantastic 3 right there to really seal the game and getting it done for the Washington Wizards. Now, unfortunate for this Pacers team, another loss here, and this is kind of what we expect. Domantas Sabonis, Miles Turner, they're solid, but they don't really result into wins. They don't really know how to close out the close games, and this goes back to last year. What did they make the playoffs last year? Let me get that up quickly, just to kind of refresh our memory on what happened in the finals. We predicted the Bucks won at the beginning of the playoffs last season, and me and Colin Coward were like the only ones that really predicted the Bucks to win, but we digress on that. But let's get a nice friendly reminder of what happened in the playoffs. Maybe they didn't even get into the playoffs. I think they got into the play-in tournament, but ended up losing. So let me see if I can get this up quickly. Because the unfortunate thing about this, Pacers team is just they kind of fade into the background. Sabonis is a real solid player, but he never really gets the recognition he deserves. And this Pacers team overall is just not getting in kind of the main spotlight to help him out and be like, hey, y'all need to take a look at this man because they're losing games kind of actively. So here we go. We got this is 2020. We need 2021. That's my fault for not typing it in right. Here we go, 2021. We are in the 2021-2022 season. All right, what do we got? Here we go. Hopefully they show us the play-in tournament as well. What do we got? What did they finish? Yeah, I don't even think they finished in, they didn't even get here, folks. They didn't even get into the playoffs. They lost in the play-in tournament. I believe they got into the play-in tournament. They show the play-in tournament here on Wikipedia. Good old wiki. I don't think they show that. But either way, this Pacers team is losing games like they have been all their entire franchise long over the last couple of seasons. But either way, Sabonis, and this is a little interesting. They moved Sabonis to the 5 and Miles Turner at the 4. Game number 1, Miles Turner was at the 5. Sabonis was at the 4. They lose by 1. They switch it around. They still lose by 1. Now, they got great production from these two players, but that's really all that they have greatly right here. Sabonis, 28 points, 7 assists, 9 rebounds, efficient as heck, 76% on 13 shots. Miles Turner, 40-piece, 10 rebounds on 5 of 9 from 3, 68% on 22 shots. Real great there. Malcolm Brogdon did his damnedest to be a great 3 here. 28 points, 8 assists, 8 rebounds, 54% on 22 shots. Really good there. Just unfortunate they lose by 1, but this is what the Pacers are. Great stats, they lose. They're kind of like the Vikings of the NFL. Great stats by Kirk Cousins and Dalvin Cook. Great stats here by Domantas Sabonis, Miles Turner, but they don't win games. They're not kind of one of the highly talked about teams. They're just, oh, yeah, that was good. Oh, they lost. Oh, okay, unfortunate. I mean, that's how you talk about the Pacers. That's how you talk about the Vikings. That's what it is. It's unfortunate. We'll see if they can turn it around as this season progresses, but, these first 2 games, we're seeing the same things that we've been seeing about this Pacers team for the last at least 5 seasons, and it's a little tiresome. It's like, okay, yeah, we get it. Y'all are almost good. Get good, and then we'll talk about you. It's really unfortunate here. Also, Torrey Craig, 11 minutes. Come on, get that man in some more minutes here. He did go 0-2. You got to get better as well, my man. But Torrey Craig could be a huge piece to this bench rotation. We'll see if he kind of starts getting into his own here. All right, then the Washington Wizards, folks. Kyle Kuzma, now his team finally. And, hey, I got to give credit to Kyle Kuzma. This was a real great performance right here. I mean, he wanted all the smoke. He wanted to be a main part of that Lakers team. Just unfortunately, there was no space, for him with LeBron and AD on the floor at the same time. And, he wasn't really getting it done with the bench players. So they were like, yeah, you can be the main man, just not on the Lakers. You got to go somewhere else. He's with the Washington Wizards this season, and he's still playing the 4 here. 26 points, 11 rebounds. He was efficient, 5 of 8 from 3, 10 of 7 17 from the field. He was a minus 12 on the floor, which was the worst on the team. So once again, his defense needs to kind of clean up a little bit out here. But overall, I'll give this man some solid credit early on. We'll see if he can kind of advance into the role of truly kind of leading this team to, wins consistently, fighting for a playoff spot at the end of the season. So we'll see if Kyle Kuzma's able to live up to that. Not a lot of great pieces. They've got good pieces. Spencer Dinwiddie, kind of his first chance to be the main man on a team as a starting point guard here. And he took advantage as well. 34 points, 9 assists, 6 rebounds. Aaron Holiday at the 2, 7 points. Daniel Gafford playing the 5 here, 8 points, 2 rebounds. KCP also here on this Wizards team, 7 points. But what I really like about this Wizards team is kind of their depth right here. We get Montrezl Harrell, Denny Avdija, Raul Neto, and Davis Bertans all coming off the bench. Once again, another real solid depth right here. There's a couple of teams we've already talked about. This is the second one that we've talked about today. But there's a lot of teams that have real solid depth off their bench, like 3-4 really solid role players, tier 2 players in this league. So shout out to this Washington Wizards team. Loving Montrezl Harrell here. 14 points, 7 rebounds off the bench. Denny Avdija, only 2 points, but we know we can get it done. Raul Neto, 18 points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds, and then, like we said, Davis Bertans puts the game kind of winning 3. So this is a real good Washington team. Good pieces in the starting lineup, good pieces off the bench, real solid, top-down team, and we'll see how far that takes them. They get the win over the Pacers by 1 in overtime, 135-134. Alrighty, next game up is the Raptors and the Celtics. The Raptors absolutely blow out the Celtics here, and we don't like this Celtics team at all, folks. I don't even care that they went kind of toe-to-toe with the Knicks in game 1. That was just kind of a high-energy game. The Knicks aren't kind of like this dominant team that's going to be blowing out teams every single game, and this Celtics team is real lackluster in their overall talent. We've already, we like Jason Tatum. We just don't think he's ready to kind of be the main man to single-handedly carry the team night in, night out, like a LeBron, like a Steph Curry, like a Kevin Durant. That's just not what Jason Tatum is, and I don't know if he gets there. He's a real solid player. I'm not a real solid player. I am not knocking Jason Tatum at all. I love Jason Tatum. He's an extraordinary player. I just don't think he can lead a team single-handedly. And Jaylen Brown, he's a little inconsistent. Last season, going back to last season and so far this season, and I know it's a small sample size this season, but Jaylen Brown has really kind of been disappointing to me a little bit in the inconsistency. Like 2-3 years ago when it was Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, it was like, yeah, they were both kind of going off every single game and helping the teams win, but now it's all on their shoulders. They don't have Kyrie Irving. They don't have Kemba Walker, who wasn't the greatest, but they don't really have any other pieces around them. They are the pieces. They are now the pieces here. So it's going to be tough on both these players to really, truly get it done here. Jaylen Brown floundered big time this game. 9 points. He shot 23%, 0 of 7 from the 3. Now, he was still a +3 in 28 minutes, which is great, but we also need the scoring because they didn't even put up 90 points. You still need a score. Barely put up 80. And then their bigs. Robert Williams, he's their best big that they have, so I've got no problem with him at the 5, and he's a solid growing player. But then having Al Horford and him on the floor at the same time, and having Marcus Smart run the point, I mean, what is going on with that? Dennis Schroeder, why are we not having Dennis Schroeder in the starting lineup? Put Dennis Schroeder at the 1, maybe even put Marcus Smart at the 4. Jason Tatum, I would not have Al Horford and Robert Williams on the same lineup, honestly. I would start Dennis Schroeder. I'd have Dennis Schroeder at the 1. Jaylen Brown really wants to play the 2. Jason Tatum maybe plays the 4 and then move Marcus Smart to the 3, something along those lines. But I don't like what this starting lineup is, and I don't like Dennis Schroeder coming off the bench. I know Dennis Schroeder was very lackluster last season with the Lakers, and that's unfortunate, but maybe he can get it done here for this Celtics team. But overall, you have to get Peyton Pritchard and Aaron Nesmith. They need to start having good contributions. They're not, and they need to get more minutes, but you can't give them more minutes right now because they're absolutely floundering in the small minutes that they get. I mean, Peyton Pritchard was a -30 on the floor, folks. Worst by far by the team, and he only played 15 minutes. How you go -30 in 15 minutes? That's real bad work there. So they really need to start getting these players, they're young players. What do we got here? Are they both kind of year 2 players, or is one year 3, one's a year 2? Peyton Pritchard's year 2. Aaron Nesmith is year 2 as well. Year 2 as well. So, they are still young, so we'll give them a little time to grow here, especially early on in the season. But if this Celtics team is looking to kind of go deep in the playoffs, be a contender, they need to get this bench figured out, and they need to get these young players up to speed, up to standard to be solid role players off this bench. So, I'm not expecting anything big from the Celtics this season. Jason Tatum may go off a couple of games and single-handedly move this team to some wins, but overall, I don't think they can compete for a ring. I don't really even think they can compete for a first-round playoff spot, honestly. So we'll see how the Celtics team goes, but we are not big on the Celtics team even close, folks. Alrighty, the Raptors, Gary Trent Jr. finally in the starting lineup. He wasn't in the starting lineup game 1, which was a little confusing to us, but here he is in the starting lineup playing the 2 here. 20 points, 4 steals, 3 rebounds, decently efficient, 2 of 6 from the 3, 7 of 13 from the field. Fred VanVleet still playing the 1 here, 11 points, but he did have 9 assists. We absolutely love that. Precious Achiuwa, 15 points, 15 rebounds. We'll take that. Scotty Barnes playing the 4 here, 25 points, 13 rebounds. And then OG Anunoby at the 3, 14 points. So overall, once again, Nick Nurse is kind of coaching these players up a lot more and getting some good success out of them. We'll see how long they can keep it up. Goran Dragic only playing 11 points off the bench. A little interesting. Kem Birch, 2 points, 6 rebounds off the bench as well. So we'll see how good their bench can be. They got Chris Boucher, 11 points, 7 rebounds off the bench. Real solid performance. They also have Malachi Flynn, who can, get it done as well. So we'll just see how this team starts to play for the rest of the season here. But a solid start to the season so far for the Raptors. A nice win on the road here over the Celtics. Alrighty, next game up here is the Nets at the 76ers, and man, oh man, the Nets coming back from behind here in the second half and winning and closing out the game in the fourth quarter. Fantastic. Nets get their first win of the season. Kevin Durant, 29 points, 12 assists, 15 rebounds. Classic, exactly what we expect from Kevin Durant. James Harden, 20 points, 8 assists, 7 rebounds. Both of the 2 players here, the 2 best players for this Nets team, getting it done. Joe Harris, 14 points, 3 of 10 from the 3. Okay, solid performance. Nicholas Claxton, this is where the Nets are going to flounder, kind of at their big. Maybe you are going to have to play Kevin Durant at the 5 a lot more, kind of like what you were doing last season in the playoffs against the Bucks, having kind of Kevin Durant play kind of the 5 for a couple of games, a lot of minutes throughout these games. So just having Blake Griffin, he's playing the 4. He gives you nothing great. Nicholas Claxton, he's just unfortunately a little bit too small. He gets bodied down low. He was a minus 19 in 16 minutes of play here. 3 points, 3 rebounds, 1 of 4 from the field. So we want to see Nicholas Claxton really get to that level of he can be a starting big in this league. He's just not it quite yet. So this is going to be kind of the kryptonite for this Nets team, not having a good big. So they do have LaMarcus Aldridge, and we can count on LaMarcus Aldridge. He's always a solid OG player in this league. You don't have to kind of, question his accolades or his stats or anything like that. But his longevity, folks, what do we got? 14th season? 15th, he's 16 years, folks. This man, no disrespect, but he's a little aging out of this league. But he still had a good performance here. So early on in the season, we may be able to get some good play out of LaMarcus Aldridge. But as we get deeper into the season, as we go into the postseason, is he going to be good? Is he going to be fresh? So the Nets are going to have to do something at the big spot. We'll see what they can do. But LaMarcus Aldridge, 23 points, 5 rebounds. He shot 83%, a plus 21 on the floor. Absolutely great performance in 22 minutes out here. So Nets are able to get the win. And then the 76ers kind of blowing it in the fourth quarter, unfortunately. Tyrese Maxey's pretty solid out here at the starting 1 now. Elevated to the starting 1 position, 15 points, 2 assists, 2 rebounds. He's learning to position here, second year in the league. So we'll see how he gets going and how he learns the game out here. Seth Curry, 23 points, and he's so good, folks. Truly kind of making a name for himself. Obviously, he was getting it done. Who was he with? The Kings to kind of start his career. Is that correct? Let me quickly take a look. Seth Curry. What do we got here? With the Kings, I think that's really when he started to kind of come alive a little bit during that kind of Kings route in 2015, 2016 when he was started to hit a lot of threes. But did he make the most threes in this game, in this season? What do you got? He was shooting 45% this season from 3. That's really, because that's really when he started to play games. And that's really when everybody's noticed, oh, he can kind of shoot not as good as his brother, but really at a really solid pace comparable to his brother, obviously Seth Curry. So, yeah, Seth Curry getting it done out here and truly coming into his own and now on kind of a good team where he can be a main component to scoring and just production and always in the media limelight because the 76ers are one of the better teams. So, Seth Curry truly still getting it done here. 23 points, 4 from the 3, 75% from the field on 12 shots. Absolutely amazing. Joel Embiid still getting it done down low. 19 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 4 blocks. Unfortunately, just kind of, ran out of power here. The team did in the fourth quarter. Tobias Harris, 23 points, 7 rebounds, 3 of 4 from 3, always reliable. And then Danny Green doing classic Danny Green things. Only took 6 shots, 6 points, -8 on the floor. Classic Danny Green. I don't know how much more we can take of classic Danny Green while he's winning rings and championships, getting all this big recognition. We digress. Off the bench here, anything really good? Furkan Korkmaz, 10 points off the bench here. Andre Drummond coming off the bench with the 10 rebounds in 18 minutes. So just an unfortunate kind of collapse here in the second half here for the 76ers. But the Nets, you can only keep them down so long. Kevin Durant and James Harden, as long as you have those two players on your team, you have a real great chance of winning any game that you want at any point. So well done with this Nets team to get back on track and get the win. Alrighty, next game up here is the Pelicans at the Bulls, and the Bulls get the win 128-112, and I'm loving this Bulls team. This is a stacked, loaded Bulls team. Lonzo Ball is getting it done. Zach LaVine, Vooch, and DeMar DeRozan. Sheesh, what a great overall starting roster. Lonzo Ball, 17 points, 10 assists, 10 rebounds. God dang, he's truly found a spot where he fits in 100%. He doesn't need to be the main scorer. He just needs to facilitate this ball to some great athletes. Great shooting of Zach LaVine. He shot 6 of 9 from 3. Vooch down low, getting it done. And DeMar DeRozan, who's a very solid addition to this team that doesn't even need. He can fade into the background if he needs to. Or, honestly, DeMar DeRozan is kind of like the fourth option on this team. But he can be like a number 1 or number 2 if he needs to step up into this role. And with the poor shooting performance of Vucevic from down low, 10 points on 11 shots from down low, DeMar DeRozan steps up big time, goes 26 points, 4 assists, 6 rebounds on 20 shots, shooting 45%. So, when they need him to go, he can go. If they need him to sit back in the background and play just defense or facilitate the floor a little bit, he can do that as well. So, watch out for this Bulls team. This is a real solid starting lineup out here. They may get a little bogged down by their bench, potentially. Troy Brown Jr. off the bench, Javonte Green, Alex Caruso, Elise Johnson, Derrick Jones Jr. is finally starting to play. Didn't play game 1, only 2 minutes here in game number 2. So hopefully we see his minutes in production and, he truly finds a way to fit into a team. That's the biggest knock that we have on Derrick Jones Jr. He just has not found a way to fit into a team schematically of how to play. Am I the scorer? Am I just a defender? Am I a facilitator? Anything like that. He doesn't know what to do, and we get these spotty stats all the time. And he was in the starting lineup for a solid chunk last season and still really couldn't get it figured out here. So we hope he can. He's an explosive, great athletic talent out here, but he doesn't really fit anywhere. So we'll see if he earns a spot here at some time this season. And then for the Pelicans, still no Zion, so don't expect them to win a lot of games out here. Brandon Ingram's trying his damnedest to kind of, hold it down until Zion can play. 26 points, 8 assists, 8 rebounds for Brandon Ingram. Jonas Valanciunas out here, the newly acquired big for this Pelicans team, 18 points, 8 rebounds, solid performance. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, 15 points, 4 steals, 5 rebounds, and then having Devontae Green run the point, 21 points, 6 assists, and 6 rebounds. So overall, a real solid performance. Just unfortunately ran into a little bit of a better Bulls team overall. Also, would like to see Jackson Hayes, start to get some more dominant production performances out of him as well. Playing 14 minutes off the bench, 9 points, 2 rebounds. Got to fix the defense a little bit. But Pelicans made it decently close. Unfortunately, the bench gave no great production, unfortunately. So, Bulls get the win 128-112. Alrighty, 3 more games, so let's close them out here. 4 more games, excuse me. Here we go. Next game up, Thunder at the Rockets, and a big old blowout win for this Rockets team, winning 124-91. And this Thunder team, it's nothing good. You've got to blow it up. Keep Shai Gilgeous-Alexander or trade him, but this is not going to be a winning team. Luguentz-Dort is once again lost on a team. He can't score. He's not the best defender. He's not the best passer, and they're having him at the 3 here for this Thunder team. We've seen him at the 2. We've seen him at the 3. Still really can't do anything great here. So Luguentz-Dort, I don't think anything great. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has the biggest potential on this team, and he's not going to be able to carry this garbage. And I don't mean that disrespectfully, folks. I truly don't. But this is not a good team overall. I mean, we just went through at least like 6 games already, and we've seen some really great starting lineups. This Thunder team is nowhere close to being one of those teams. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 13 points, 4 rebounds. Blah. Luguentz-Dort, 8 points on 33%, 1 of 5 from the 3, 4 assists, 1 rebounds, a minus 24 on the floor. And I know they got blown out, but still. So, nothing great. I mean, we got Josh Giddey at the 2. We got Isaiah Roby at the 5. We got Darius Baisley at the 4. I mean, this is nothing great, folks. I mean, the leading scorer for this team was Shai Gilgeous-Alexander with 13 points. Also, we got Mike Muscala having 13 points and 11 minutes off the bench as well. So this is not a good team. Not at all. Aleksej Pukosavetsky, 10 points, 7 rebounds, solid production. Why is this man not starting? I mean, you don't have anything great in the starting lineup. Get that man in the starting lineup. You really have to move off of Luguentz-Dort. I think he's holding the team back. I think Luguentz-Dort can be a solid production on a good team, but he's not going to be able to carry a team. He's kind of the number 2 here on this Thunder team, and he's nowhere near a number 2 option here. So this Thunder team, folks, once again, this is not going to be a good team all season like the Magic. It's truly unfortunate. They got to do something. We'll see if they do anything. I don't even know. You got to do a lot of things to fix this team. This is not a good team. Not even close. So a big old loss here for the Thunder, losing 124-91. Alrighty, then we get the Spurs at the Nuggets, and the Nuggets win, but the Spurs close. So once again, give credit to Greg Popovich for coaching. I mean, they truly have nothing on this team. At least last year, they still had DeMar DeRozan on their team, but now they've really got nothing great. DeJounte Murray and Derek White are, up-and-coming great players, but I mean, nothing great. I mean, this is our starting lineup, folks. DeJounte Murray at the 1, Derek White at the 2, Kendall Johnson at the 3, Doug McDermott at the 4, and Jakob Poeltl at the 5. I mean, this is nothing great. All kind of tier 2 players. Their bench, Drew Eubanks, Lonnie Walker, Devin Vassell, Thaddeus Young. We like Thaddeus Young. Nice OG. He was in the running for a little bit, and our 6th man of the year. It was a decent stretch, I would say, but he was competing for it, never really in the lead for 6th man of the year. But we'll see what they do with Thaddeus Young, because he could start for this team, honestly. But we'll see how Greg Popovich utilizes them. Only 9 minutes off the bench last night. DeJounte Murray, 15 points, 6 assists, 9 rebounds. Derek White, 16 points, 8 assists. Jakob Poeltl, 15 points, 8 rebounds. So and Kendall Johnson, let's shout him out. Leading scorer for the Spurs team, 27 points, 4 rebounds. 0 of 2 from the 3, but he shot 66% on 18 shots from the field. So overall, they've got some solid pieces. Do they have that kind of number 1 option, though, that you can rely on and consistently go to when you need a bucket? That's really what it's going to come down to for the Spurs. But as long as you got Greg Popovich, leading the way, he can make this team work for a couple of wins, be interesting, be like a 7th, 8th, 9th seed coming into maybe the final month of the season. That's definitely where we can see the Spurs team. But then the Nuggets, defending MVP Jokic, doing defending MVP type numbers out here. 32 points, 7 assists, 16 big old rebounds, shooting 73% from the field on 19 shots. Amazing game. A plus 14 on the floor, the highest plus minus for this Nuggets team. Aaron Gordon, 8 points on 6 shots, doing what he does, a plus 5. Michael Porter Jr., a little lackluster, only 7 points this game. But, hey, they still win the game. So, we'll keep track of Michael Porter Jr. This bad game by him doesn't really reflect that big on us, because we know these are kind of, lull games that we do see periodically. We saw him last year with Michael Porter Jr. We see him here so far, only 2 games in. But, no need to worry here for Michael Porter Jr. Still getting it done defensively, a 0 on the floor in 27 minutes. So, still some solid production out of him. And then their guards here for the Nuggets, Monte Morris at the 1, 13 points, 1 assist, 2 rebounds. Will Barton at the 2, 12 points, 6 assists, 7 rebounds. So really solid 1 and 2 here when you've got a loaded kind of backcourt with Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, and Jokic. Or front court. All right, and then off the bench here, solid role players off the bench. JaMychal Green, 10 points. PJ Dozier has the ability to put up some solid points, 7 points last night. Facundo Campazzo can run the point for the second team when he needs to. 8 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds, a +6 on the floor. Solid job out here by this Nuggets bench as well. So Nuggets get the big O win, 102-96, and I believe they are 2-0, correct? Solid start here. Alrighty, last 2 games. Here we go. Suns at Lakers, and a big old win for the Suns team, winning 115-105 over the Lakers. The big old bench skirmish between Dwight Howard and Anthony Davis, but Dwight Howard says, hey, we've squashed the beef. We're not really going to talk about it after the game, so we can kind of see that being done. Real bizarre to watch that unfold live, but they say they're all good, so we'll see how that actually holds up. Let's start here with the Suns since they won the game. Chris Paul, 23 points, 14 assists, fantastic. Devin Booker, 22 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds, 2 of 6 from 3, 47% on 19 shots. Devin Booker's solid production out here. He has the ability to really kind of take over a game and put up 35-plus points when he needs to. So we'll see, how often that comes out for the Suns team and how often he needs to do that. Kind of needed to do that in Game 1. They lost because there was nobody to really take over the scoring. Chris Paul gives you solid production out here. Mikal Bridges gives you 21 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals, 72%, 2 of 4 from the 3. So, Devin Booker only needed to put up 22 points. So that's fantastic, I guess. Jay Crowder, 13 points, 6 rebounds, solid. 1 of 6 from the 3. We know when he gets going from the 3, he's good. But if he starts bad, usually ends bad. 1 of 6, nothing great here, but they still get the win. DeAndre Ayton, 8 points, 15 rebounds, solid big out here still getting it done. Still great starting lineup with this Suns team. And then off the bench, Cameron Johnson, only 8 points. Cameron Payne, 4 points. They're not taking a lot of shots here, but we kind of do need them to kind of be a little bit more consistent here off the bench, scoring-wise. So we'll see if they ever kind of get into some solid kind of 12 to 15 category points off the bench here. Hopefully that's what they can reach here. Both playing 18 minutes off the bench. That's definitely, serviceable. 12 to 15 points here for both of them. A solid 30 piece between those two off the bench on a nightly basis. Yeah, we're talking about a really solid, complete team at that point. We'll see if they can reach it. And then the Lakers here, LeBron James, 25 points, 5 assists, 2 rebounds. He went 5 of 9 from 3. A really good start here from LeBron James from the 3-point line this season in these first 2 games. Anthony Davis, 22 points, 14 rebounds. He's trying his damnedest. DeAndre Jordan still playing the 5 here. Only 10 minutes for DeAndre Jordan, but once again, nothing good by this man. And how long is he going to be able to kind of go here? Him and Blake Griffin, the Nets and Lakers are kind of heavily relying on them to get it done here, at least in the early part of the season, but we know they're not going to be anything great at when they're getting kind of starting minutes. I know DeAndre Jordan's not getting starting minutes, only 10, but how long are they going to be able to kind of keep up this level of play that's kind of needed? Because obviously Anthony Davis doesn't like playing the 5. He's starting at the 4, still kind of playing the 5 in some instances, but how long is he going to want to play the 5 as the season progresses? So the Lakers may find them spot in the same spot that the Nets are in, where we kind of just need somebody good and consistent to play the 5. So All right, then Kent Bazemore still playing the 2. Kendrick Nunn not playing yet for this Lakers team, and he's going to play the 2, right? You've got to put Kendrick Nunn at the 2. I would put Kent Bazemore off the bench once Kendrick Nunn is healthy, so I'll be interested to see if they do start Kendrick Nunn, which they really should. Russell Westbrook, a better game than he had in game number 1. Not that hard to do, but he did it out here. 15 points, 9 assists, 11 rebounds, a +4 on the floor. That's absolutely fantastic. Only Russell Westbrook and DeAndre Jordan were +4s. DeAndre Jordan only played 10 minutes, and Russell Westbrook played 34. So great job here by Russell Westbrook, and only 4 turnovers. Not bad. LeBron had 5. So nobody can blame Russell Westbrook from this game. Malik Monk, I would like to see this man kind of get a little bit better out here. He could be a real solid weapon off the bench here for this Lakers team. 7 points on 50% shooting, but he was a -19 on the floor. Definitely got to clean that up a little bit. And then Carmelo Anthony, 16 points on 45% shooting, 4 of 6 from the 3, a +8 off the floor, or off the bench. So we'll see how kind of this Lakers big start to do as the season progresses. And I really want to see Kendrick Nunn in the starting lineup once he's back healthy. Because honestly, what you could run when Kendrick Nunn is back, Russell Westbrook at the 1. You can even keep Kent Bazemore at the 2. Move Kendrick Nunn to the 3. LeBron at the 4. AD at the 5. I mean, AD's going to have to play the 5. He's going to have to for basically games on end. I mean, once they get into the playoffs, Anthony Davis, he's just going to have to suck it up and play the 5. I know he doesn't like to do that, but he's going to have to do that. So we'll see how long he can stick with it. We've seen him, say, hey, I've got no problem playing the 5, and then, he's slowly working his way to the 4 as the season progresses. Like, no, hey, get back down low, my man. So, Lakers, big old loss here. Now, is this cause for concern? With this Lakers team starting 0-2, not great. Now, LeBron James is saying, hey, this is a big 3, a new big 3. It's going to take some time to get us all acclimated together. And is that true? Because he only had one other big 3, first time big 3, and that was with the Heat when he went there in 2010-2011 season. Let's see what they started. They started 0-1, but then they went and won 4 straight. So they started 4-1. This team's starting 0-2. So we know what this Heat team did. They lost the finals the first year, one of the next 2 years, break up. So we'll see how early they can kind of get it all together for this Lakers team. So far, spotty performances here by all the big 3, but 10-point loss for the Lakers, 115-105, Suns win. All right, and then the last game from last night, the Jazz at the Kings. Jazz get the 9-point win, 110-101 over the Kings. This Jazz team, obviously, Mike Conley, Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert, Royce O'Neal, Bojan Bogdanovic, getting it done. All of them getting it done. Mike Conley, 17 points. Donovan Mitchell, 27 points. Rudy Gobert, 17 points, 20 rebounds. Royce O'Neal, 8 points, 4 rebounds. Bojan Bogdanovic, 13 points, 5 assists. All great production from the starting lineup out here. Joe Ingles only played 5 minutes because he got ejected, unfortunately. Jordan Clarkson, off the bench, 15 points, 5 rebounds. Classic Jordan Clarkson. And this Jazz team is exactly where they left off last season, still getting it done. And then for this Kings team, De'Aaron Fox still playing the 1 here, 12 points, 5 steals, 5 assists, really solid performance by him. Harrison Barnes, 25 points, 15 rebounds, really, really good. Tyrese Halliburton, 15.6 assists, so solid performance out here by this Kings team. But Buddy Hield coming off the bench, what is that about? He had 26 minutes, which is still good minutes, but why are we having Buddy Hield off the bench? That's disrespectful to the man. 24 points, 7 rebounds, he's shooting 6 of 15 from the 3. That's his thing. He loves to shoot the 3 at a high clip, and he got it done. 40%, I'll take that. So why is Buddy Hield coming off the bench? Is he going to get traded at some point this season? I know they were kind of, Buddy Hield within some trade rumors in the offseason here. So we'll see if Buddy Hield goes anywhere this season. But I don't like this man coming off the bench. I think that's a little disrespectful. And then Davion Mitchell, the rookie here, Donovan Mitchell's brother, Davion Mitchell, 31 minutes off the bench. He's got to kind of hone it in. But he's a rookie, second game in. So we'll give him a little bit of a break here. He's going to be hard for this man to kind of get in the starting lineup with De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox 1, Donovan Mitchell 2. Can you do that? I don't know. We'll see what they do what they do there. Do they end up, I don't know. Do you trade them? I mean, they drafted Davion Mitchell knowing that they've got De'Aaron Fox. I doubt they trade any of them, but we'll see what happens as the season progresses. But Davion Mitchell, really not great performance out here. 3 points on 1 of 8 from the field, 0 of 4 from the 3. Definitely got to get that up a little bit. But like we said, bad performance, game 2 in the league, no worries. So Jazz get the win 110-101 over the Kings. So that's what happens, folks, when we don't have a clock on our NBA 10. We go 46 minutes. I mean, we will talk, folks. We will talk. So that's why we have to put the timer during when we kind of got a packed show dealing with the NFL. But today, Saturday shows, we usually have a lot more time in the show. So we can go a little bit more in depth in the NBA. So that was the NBA from last night, folks. What do we have on tap today? A big slate again. We got Hawks at Cavs, Heat at Pacers. Mavericks at Raptors, Pistons at Bulls, Pelicans at Timberwolves, Bucks at Spurs, Suns at Blazers, Grizzlies at Clippers. So another packed day of NBA kicking off at 6 p.m. Eastern. We got any primetime nationally televised games? No? Oh, a little lame. We did have a doubleheader last night, so I guess okay. So we'll talk about the NBA tomorrow. Are we going to be on tomorrow? We may be on tomorrow. That is for our pregame show of the NFL. Maybe we'll try and squeeze in some NBA. So we'll see. But that was the NBA from last night, folks.